Everyone has a creative streak inside, but to be considered an artist, you must be able to recognize your abilities and use your talent and skills to conceptualize and execute your ideas. Hi, my name is Christina Watts, and I am an artist living in Prince George, BC. Today we're here at Studio 2880, the Prince George Community Arts Council, home of all of our wonderful arts guilds. I am grateful to be here today creating on the traditional lands of the Lheidli T'enneh. On today's program, we're going to be introducing you to some unique individuals who all have something in common: the ability to create and the confidence to put their craft out into the world. When you think of a working musician, most of us think of pub crawling, boisterous entertainers, or big name artists that travel around the globe. But there's always another side to everyone. And the other side of Danny Tulk isn't what you'd expect.
I mean, there's no doubt that I'm a unique principal. I mean, when people see me with my ponytail, with my Harley, my music.
Check 1, 2.
And like, oh, you're a principal. Yeah, and that's the same reaction I get from everybody. Everybody says, what do you do for a living? I'm a principal of a high school. Oh, like, really? If there was an action figure, I would come equipped, like, now with guitar, kung fu action. So music has been so important to me, and it's something, even though I've tried, and I've honestly given a real try to get out of it. You always heard the term, get a haircut and get a real job. So I did. I tried to walk away multiple times. 18, I moved to college. So I was doing my business degree. I was working at a car dealership. So really exciting. I mean, starting your first real job, real life, right? I mean, haircut, real job, you are now an adult. And I got this part-time job teaching music lessons to kids in the evenings. And I found myself sitting at my other job thinking, yeah, these oil filters are really cool, but I wonder what Jimmy's doing in class. I wonder how I can make Jimmy learn this song. So that's when I said, well, this is probably what I'm meant to do. And I found that passion of the kids, seeing something grow, seeing kids learning, and seeing how they reacted to the music and the lessons. So I moved to Fort McMurray. I've been playing for years. I've been gigging for years. And I get to Fort Mac, and I'm like, okay, cool, I'm teaching guitar now. I'm gonna do 1 gig a month just to keep my chops up, just to make sure I can still do it. So I'm not, a poser to the kids. 1 gig becomes 2 gigs, becomes 10 gigs, becomes 120 gigs a year. And then you find yourself in Nashville doing an album, and you're playing major stages. And I don't know what it is. Music has that thing, that passion. And you can try all you want to get away from it. But it's intrinsic, it's inside you, and it allows me to be me. Superintendent called me and said, hey, do you want to move to the Compton High School? We're building a studio there. You can be the vice principal. Oh, that's really cool. Let's do this. It's like my worlds are connecting here. I had a studio, I got a school, I got long hair, I play guitar, I'm a principal, I'm a musician. What is happening? And then now you have this rock and roll guitar playing principal. Somehow that happened. I'm still confused a bit.
Morning, guys. Woo! Have an awesome day. Have a good day, Ethan. Awesome, guys.
People look at my jobs as a principal and like a musician, and they think, well, those two don't mesh. They do. They're the one and the same, because it's about communication. It's about interacting with people. It's about telling a story. It's about reaching people. A teacher reaches students, helps them adjust, helps them learn, helps them grow, helps them build themselves. A musician, an artist, does the same thing. We reach out to the people in the audience. We help them grow. We help them find connections. It allows you to kind of communicate with anybody, because nothing brings people together like music. And regardless of your culture, your society, your walk of life, music is that central element that will bring a group together. Even though they may seem to be opposed and different kind of facets of the one life, they really are the same. I am working at building connections. Carrying that music with you, carrying that enjoyment, carrying that passion with you for music, for the arts, for kids, for growth, for education, is something that makes you look at every day and like, cool, what can we do? How can we challenge what we're doing right now? How can we make it better? What can we change right now? It's like writing a song. right? You look at it, how can this song continue? What can we add? How's the hook? What's this killer guitar solo that we can add to this? Seems like, how can we change the school day? How can we help this kid? What's his guitar solo? How can we make him or her shine? Dun, 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 dun. Now drop it down a string. If I was told, what's your dream life? What's your dream job? I'm living it. This is it. I mean, literally, I know it sounds weird. Principal by day, musician by night is literally my yin and yang. It is the two parts of me, and I would have it no other way.
Up next, one potter is leaving her smoky mark on the creative scene. Using a unique form of firing, this pottery passes through the flames before completion, and the results are truly one of a kind.
In 2012, I went back to Manitoba, southern Manitoba, where I was raised. I had an elderly mother who was there needing some care, so I found myself in a new old town again with a lot of time on my hands. And so I had the opportunity to take a pottery course, and I just fell in love with pottery immediately, could not get enough of it. It was just almost like an addictive process for me. I'm Catherine Newsom, and I live in Nelson, British Columbia. I am a mental health nurse by profession, and I'm also a potter, and I specialize in barrel-fired pottery. There's just something about the tactile quality of pottery and the look of it that I loved. And in making it, I even more loved the unglazed clay. Like, I just loved working with it, and the throwing was a little challenge every time you throw a pot, and when you're a beginner, of course, it's never quite perfect, so I was just always wanting to go back and try again, see if I can get that pot a little higher, a little thinner walls, or the shape I really was going after. In terms of the barrel-fired pottery, I wanted to bring my pottery in some way up to my partner's cabin. I'd read a book on this type of pottery, and we had a barrel here to use, and so I started my first experiments with it up here. The first time we got a couple pieces that were really nice, and it was surprising. Like, I had no idea, really. And we spent the next 2 days staring at the pots, because this process just creates these sort of ethereal scenes, and you can imagine whatever they are, landscapes, galaxies, whatever. It was after that, I guess, I came up with the idea of calling them contemplation pots, because really it's something you could sit and look at these pots for a long time, and I find it a very relaxing activity. It may be a little obsessive, perhaps. With most of what I'm doing, I use a white bodied clay, either porcelain or a white fine-grained stoneware. I'll throw them on a wheel, and then I set them aside to just dry for about a day, usually till it gets to the point where I can trim it, and I put it back on the wheel, and then I trim it. I use some tools to trim down the foot, and I smooth out the surface. Then it gets bisque-fired, and that turns it into a ceramic. I bisque-fired it at quite a low temperature compared to other forms of pottery, and that's because it leaves the pots more porous to accept more of the smoke in the barrel. Then when the time is right for firing, I have to make sure that there's no fire restrictions. Usually it's in the fall or the spring I'm firing, and I load my barrel with a combination of organic materials and some chemicals and a few odd items. I use sawdust, straw, seaweed and corn husks, copper carbonate in a powdered form. I use some table salt, cobalt carbonate quite often, iron oxide, pine cones, banana peels, all sorts of bizarre things that leave some sort of a mark or a color on the pots. And what I'm going for is to try to get as varied of a palette of colors as I can achieve. I build a wood fire over top of the pots, and then I burn it from the top down. And I just let it burn until it's gone down to ash, and the pots are all lying at the bottom of the barrel. So the carbon or the other colors have gone into the pores of the pot, And it's like Christmas morning every time you take the pots out of the barrel. I mean, I almost feel that same excitement like when you're a kid and you can't get to sleep at night because you know you're going to wake up to find some presents under the tree. Well, for me, I can't wait to take them out of the barrel. I just have to see what has been created, because I can set up the same circumstances time and time again, and it's never, of course, ever exactly the same. And I'm just surprised all the time of what I get. But I almost always end up with some that are really, really beautiful. So that's the most exciting part of the process. I make these pots because I enjoy doing it, not because I need more pottery in my house or I need the money. This is not where I'm making my money, but it's just so much fun to do. And it's very rewarding, and especially as my craft develops and I can see my pots are getting better and I'm getting better results and more reliable results. Yeah, that's really satisfying to me.
Next, we introduce you to an artist known as Catnip, who has embarked on a journey to provide community beautification on a massive scale.
If I had one hope or purpose or intention behind my work or why I do it, I would say to kind of like bring that dream, imagination, fantastical world that's inside of us out into our world and let it occupy some space and color it and brighten it, and it could inspire future artists or generations of people to do whatever they can to bring that dream, good creativity into the world, you know? Artists or not, we have like a great opportunity, especially right now, to do small, subtle things and change and make it easier for whoever comes next. When I was a kid, I was like, what do I want to be when I'm older? You know, everybody's always asking you. And my first response was Batman, just like to be that vigilante superhero type thing. And they always said I couldn't do it. So then I changed it to artist, and people still told me I couldn't do it, but I just kept up with that, and then I became Catnip, and that was kind of like my Batman. So I achieved it, yeah. I've been drawing and painting my whole life. Like I remember math class and stuff, I would finish the assignment really quick and then start painting. Yeah, so it just stuck with me. I've always been sustained by my art, but like at first it was very small amounts, you know? Like I tried to do normal jobs, but it just wasn't really for me. All I wanted to do was draw, so. Now it's really good. Like I'm stoked to be able to create for my community and make art for a living. It's always a surprise. I wake up and I'm like, oh, what should I do today? Well, make art again. From a community level, I was always kind of like accepted, you know, people liked what I was doing. At first I would go out with friends, do like little street art pieces here and there and kind of like beautify the town. And one particular time we got reported by someone out in the harbor when we were underneath this bridge. Me and a good friend of mine, Adam Cram, who's sadly not with us anymore, we got caught together and had to face the justice system, which took a long time, like 6 months. And then because of that, with him, we got to know city council. We got to like schmooze with all these people who like opened the doorways for us, gave us art shows and tons of opportunities. From that, I kind of like became more in the eye of the community, and people started wanting like their garage doors painted or sides of their businesses, and even the city would reach out and let me paint something for them, and that was like awesome. And even a couple times I wrote proposals. I asked the city and they just totally unanimously let me just because they wanted to do it. And then led to this big one, which was the water treatment plant, which the whole community actually raised money for it. Bringing art into the picture kind of is an easy way to beautify a space and revamp it. And so I think there was a big demand. I came in at the right time and people just wanted more and more murals. Still, to this day, I get so many projects now. In communities like this, like color and beautification projects can really improve areas, like especially since it rains a lot, gets cold, and you can go out and go for a walk and see this piece of art that's a piece of the community, tells a bit of the story of the place, and just affirms a little bit of like happiness in the place. Yeah, it's kind of a weird, wiggly one, but I realized I didn't like really look at it while I was painting it, but it was fun. If I could have any hope for my work and what its purpose is, I would hope that it sort of links our reality and brings that glow in from the fantastical dream world of our inner selves. All that hope and creativity just out in the world for us all to see and share together. And I hope that it can inspire more people to color their towns or add whatever they can to their communities and places on the earth.
Sometimes a daily grind can wear you down, creating the need for an outlet to wash away the stresses of the day. For our next artist, the relaxing and mesmerizing process of warm glass art is just what the doctor ordered.
My garage studio is my place of peace. I put all my stress aside, all my worries of the day, and create something beautiful. Oh, and play with fire. What is it about glass that appeals to me? All of it. The fact that light plays with it. Light hits it and it changes. It can sparkle, it can glow, it can shimmer. It makes the whole room that it's in happy. So the translucent glass really intrigued me. And then I learned about stained glass, and I took some stained glass classes, which was fun, fascinating, but I got a little bored with it and started looking around, what else can I do with glass? It was then that I discovered the process of torch work. If you're doing a torch piece, you have to be focused. So not so many emotions. Pay attention to the steps or you're gonna lose the piece. Right down onto the table. Then I'm sad. Glass mesmerizes me every time I get to manipulate it with heat in some manner. You let me loose and I'm happy. I'm calm, I'm relaxed, and my partner liked the way I was when I came out of my studio.
Whenever she goes in the glass studio, she comes out different. Something shifts inside of her, and I find that she's changed just as much as she's changing the glass is changing her. And I think it's been an excellent support in her life.
I'm a speech and language pathologist in the school system here in town, and I love it, but some days can be very wearing. Some days can be very tiring, stressful, frustrating. If I have come home and I've had a long day, but I do want to be out in my studio or I have a deadline, I'll take a time out and I'll make a nice cup of tea and play with my dogs and get rid of the negativity, because negativity and I in the studio don't mix well. I think working with glass is calming for me. It's meditative. When you're creating it, you're doing some things in repetition. When you're working on the torch, your piece never stops moving, otherwise it's going to fall off the rod or off the glass. So keeping things in motion, keeping things moving is very calming. And that's part of the reason that I come back after being stressed and I come back in from my studio that I'm relaxed, because I have been all in on whatever I am doing. If not, I come in with an injury. Working with glass will always be a light in my life, no matter how dark things may get or have been.
Hi, welcome back to the program. This is my friend Dasha. Say hi, Dasha.
Hi, Dasha. I hope everyone is enjoying the show so far.
The art of ventriloquism can take years to practice, but with no venue to perform at during the COVID-19 pandemic, these next two talents had to take their act to the world's largest stage, YouTube.
His eyeballs are here. I think that's the thing I love the most, is bringing something that isn't alive, to life.
That's me.
Yeah, it's you.
The world is a stage, and all the people in it are just players.
Morning, Danny.
Really?
Yeah, it's a good morning. It's a beautiful day.
Is it?
Yeah, what happened to you?
You know.
Well, I know. You were out in the shed there the other day working on a project, weren't you?
Rocket trike.
Yeah, I know you were working on the rocket trike. So how did it go?
Really? What do you think?
Well, we started the YouTube thing just over a year ago.
Yeah, we were only going to do it for 2 weeks because we were shut down for 2 weeks.
Yeah, but then it kept on going and going.
And over a year now. We've been doing it for over a year.
It's sort of like taken off from there. Okay. There we go. What do you think, Danny? You want a mic too?
Yeah.
Now, when did I want to become a ventriloquist? I think it was back in the 60s when I started to watch like Ed Sullivan's show, all those type of programs where they had ventriloquists come on. Yeah, they were just amazing. I couldn't get over how they could bring something to life. Put a mic on you. That was not alive. I really enjoyed that. Well, Danny, you gonna do a mic check?
Check.
Okay, that seems to be working all right. Doing the videos was basically just people could get lost in them for 5 minutes. If they laughed once in 5 minutes, I'd be quite thrilled. Well, what was the problem?
No, everything worked great.
Oh yeah, it looks like it, but it had to have been a problem somewhere.
I forgot one thing.
What did you forget?
Brakes!
Well, to become a ventriloquist, it takes a little while. First of all, you really want to have to do it, and there's many failures, isn't there?
For you?
Yeah, for me. You do okay.
Yeah, I'm fine.
But you spend a lot of time in front of a mirror, and when I was driving back and forth to work, when I used to work at the car dealership, used to practice all the way in. Ready to go, Danny?
Yeah.
Practice all the way home and spend hours in front of the mirror. All right, Danny, here we are. We're back at the driveway.
Don't forget the brake!
And it takes about 10 years to get the craft down. So you had a little problem?
No, not really. It ran great. I ripped around the neighborhood. We had a lot of fun. And then all of a sudden, whammo!
Whammo?
Yeah, no brakes.
Oh, so what was this?
In the driveway.
Oh, so you got all around the neighborhood and you crashed in the driveway?
Yes, sir.
Oh, have you got a picture of it?
Of course I do. Oh, look.
If someone wanted to be a ventriloquist, I'd say you do it as a hobby first, and once you love it, you just stick with it, and you never know. All you need is a break, isn't it?
Yeah, just a little break that helps you out.
Yeah, a little break will help you out. That looked like it hurt.
You think?
But you're going to be okay?
Yeah, Doc said I should be good pretty soon.
Oh, that's good. Entertain the people, make them laugh. That's my main goal and why I do it.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
If you think you're juggling a lot of moving parts, I'd like to introduce you to our next artist who will give you a whole new perspective on the term multitasking. For this mom of four, no matter what path her life seems to take, she always finds her way back to art.
Mommy, what's for supper?
It's complete and utter chaos. It really is. Welcome to my 3-ring circus. I'm a mom of 4, including a set of 5-year-old triplet boys and an 8-year-old girl. I think as moms, we get caught up in just being the mom, just being the wife. No, like the person who I was before I had kids, like she's still there. I still need to do the things that fulfill me. When the boys started school in the fall, I finally started to, pick up the pencil and the sketchbook and the paints and try out a few things because I haven't done anything in years, really. I went downtown and I started taking photos of the buildings that had a lot of curb appeal to me. So I would take these photos and I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna start doing these little building portraits and see. So I did a little bit of a collection, and then I posted it to social media and everybody thought that they were just fantastic, and I thought it was a really great way to bolster some pride and enthusiasm for some local businesses, for downtown, for, you know, some pride for Sault Ste. Marie. And things kind of took off from there. Ever since I was little, I loved to draw, I loved to color, to paint. My first year of college, it was a one-year art program. And after finishing it, I thought, oh, I'm never gonna, you know, have a real job doing art. I'm gonna have to find another avenue. So I did. I pursued some other things. I eventually got a BA in English literature, and then I got my teacher's education certificate from York University, and I became a teacher. And then I always seem to find my way back to doing art. Sometimes I feel this energy, I have to do this. Before it was about surviving, and now we're into thriving. I do carve out the time to do this.
Where are you guys going?
On an adventure.
Inside?
I don't feel guilty because I think I've come so far, you know, with these children, and my children understand too. It took a few weeks, maybe a couple months for them to realize, okay, this mom's gonna always be doing this. I need to give her space. And we're in such close proximity that I'm here when they need me. I feed them, you know. We still have plenty of family time. I'm available. My teaching is just sort of sitting in limbo, and I'm not saying I'm not gonna go back. In what capacity, I'm not sure, but as of right now, it's just on the back burner, on the stove in the garage type thing. Like it's not, it's not even a consideration right now. My name is Amy Williams, and I am an artist based in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. I work in acrylic and watercolor and oil painting.
Growing up, Vic Weiland never thought she would become an artist. Fast forward to today, and she is living her dreams. She combines her love of drawing and art with the Canadian landscape that surrounds her.
Being connected to nature 100% fuels my creativity. It was never a very clear decision to be an artist. It was just something that was natural and evolved slowly over time to the point where I gained enough confidence to pursue it and make it like a definite part of my life. As a child, I never ever liked anything that I had created, and my parents were always sort of like, you should probably pursue this. You really love drawing, you love art, you could be an artist one day. And I was like, no, I can't do that. That's just not for me. When I turned 20 and I submitted my work to like the first ever artisan event I had been to, and someone bought something that I had made, I was like, okay, maybe I have something here. I'm super inspired by just like the natural world based on the things that I love to do, the way that getting outside makes me feel, and I guess trying to like capture that excitement and feeling when outside is then relayed in and through my artwork. Living on Lake Superior and in northwestern Ontario is a huge part of my inspiration. It's basically everything to me. It's why I paint the things that I do. Being surrounded by water, the boreal forest is what inspires me the most. And I think if I was anywhere else in the world, my art might not necessarily have the same effect or appeal. I always knew very surely that I didn't want to learn specific techniques from YouTube videos or paint nights or even like art teachers. I wanted to come up with a style that was reflective of what was inside. So I just played with paint. It was just about being playful and having fun. This is a piece I painted of Silver Falls Provincial Park, which is a lovely spot here in Thunder Bay. It's also the first painting that I've painted where I decided to keep it. So this is the only painting I have that's mine. And yeah, I'm proud of it. Now that it's sort of naturally happened and it's unfolding as I speak, it's amazing. It's also scary. You never really know what's next, but that being said, it's super empowering and fulfilling, and I mean, I'll try to do it as long as I can. Having the chance to paint for people and like create things that I love, there is nothing in this world that has like provided me that much joy and fulfillment. Being able to make something for somebody that you know they want and they love and they feel connected to is like, I don't know, the best part about it. My name is Vic Weiland and I'm an artist.
Thank you for watching this episode of Spotlight Features. I hope you have enjoyed getting a glimpse into the many forms art can take. If you would like to see more interesting stories from across the country, follow Shaw Spotlight on social media. You can also head on over to shawspotlight.ca. Thanks for watching and have an artful day.